Rebel Road, and I'm here in Morristown, New Jersey. I wanted to bring different people to you that are living with purpose in their lives and really touching other individuals. They're being a rebel in their own lives. And I also wanted to bring to you many different topics that would impact you so that you could tap into things that would support you in growing your strength, your courage, your love, and your commitment. One of these things that I have personally experienced is NIA. And so I'm delighted to have Teresa D'Angelo with me in talking about NIA, and also you're going to see a performance later with her and two others that is absolutely beautiful. So I want to introduce her. She's a NIA instructor, and she also has her own practice where you do some other work. You have been practicing NIA for quite a while, and you share that with a lot of individuals. Your website is nianow.com/Teresa, Teresa. Will you tell a little bit about yourself personally so that they can get to know who you are, and then we'll talk a little bit about how NIA has influenced you.
Sure. Thank you for having me here, Simran.
Absolutely.
So I've been living in New Jersey for about 15 years now. I'm from Pennsylvania originally, and I worked in a corporate environment for most of my career. I'm also a broadcaster at heart, radio broadcasting years ago. And over time, I realized, back in about 2005, I realized that I didn't fit in the corporate environment anymore. Something was changing inside me, and it was literally changing because I got very sick with a chronic illness. And the gift during that time was NIA. I did find NIA. One of my doctors had recommended NIA as a beautiful art form because I had danced many years ago. And I started to take a class or two, and I was hooked, as many people say, by the second class. It was doing something inside my body that I couldn't even explain at the time. I was able to move in my natural rhythm and not a rhythm to follow someone else that's very mechanical. So this gift really helped me to evolve and deal with the autoimmune illness that I'm still working through today. And I say I'm a work in progress, and I've changed so much about my life since 2005. For the better, definitely for the better. It's an integrative approach, and also the polarity therapy work that I was doing. That's an energy healing work. Like NIA, it's very integrative, so it calls upon lifestyle changes, for eating. There's energy work with the chakras and with the elements of air, fire, water, and earth.
Well, I think you speak to something that is happening with so many people, and it is either that there is a definite call to change their lives, or something like a health issue, a financial issue. Something starts to shift where they can no longer be where they are. And that requires us to really become more embodied, but so many people tend to try to escape. And the one thing that I see about NIA is it's very much about embodiment. It's very much about really being in your body and your feelings and your emotions. How does that support the healing practice, the healing process of the body when we do NIA?
Well, when I was going through my darkest hour, I'll say the last thing I wanted to do was be in my body. And that's why NIA is perfect, because it helps us to be body aware in the beginning just by sensing our bones or our fingertips or our arm movements. And then it becomes even deeper, to sense the energy moving through us, the relationship with myself and my body and with the people I'm moving with. So it is the perfect, I will say, remedy for me who was not wanting to be in my body. And it not only stays in the class or the workshop that I'm teaching, but it really pervades my entire life. More awareness as I'm walking down the street of my feet touching the earth, and I like to bless the earth when I walk. And
so it really brings you to more of a state of presence as well, more of the in the now.
Yes.
It has brought you into that kind of experience.
Very much in the present moment.
Yes. I loved how you kind of illustrated that way that we walk, and you can see how you move and flow. And I think that so often in our lives we get used to these rigid ways, or we are taught to stand certain ways, and our body kind of gets used to those patterns. And it's kind of like other types of patterns that we get used to being in. And yet NIA is all about flow and ease and movement. So is this a practice that will help us relax back into our body's natural state, rather than the stiffness that sometimes the world or our stress or jobs tend to get us into?
The answer is yes. As people practice NIA on a regular basis, and I can speak for myself, the flow of my body has changed so much over the years. And when looking back to when I took my first training and to now, there's such a difference. And people will even comment and say, how do you do that? And I said, you can do this too. We integrate martial arts, Tai Chi, Taekwondo, Aikido, the dance arts of jazz and modern dance, and the dance of freedom, Isadora Duncan. And then we also bring in yoga and the work of Moshe Feldenkrais and the Alexander technique, which is fancy terms for
Yes.
movement from the top and sensation. So it's all of those combined with beautiful moves that really help our body to work more efficiently and condition without pain. That's the key.
You know, NIA looks like dance and play, so it can't possibly tone us and make us stronger, right?
That's the illusion.
Yeah.
How could something that you're having fun with really do something for you? And that's the magic. That's really the magic. You know, we have 52 moves, which is, you know, a natural rhythm, and they start in NIA on 13 principles of the moon phases. And we talk about natural time. So when we do condition in NIA, we're doing it in our natural time. So you don't have to do it the way I'm doing it. You can sense your muscle, you're enough, you know, when we do a position, and really talking to our bodies and letting those muscles do what they can do in my body. And yes, it's very conditioning. It's what we put into it. We always say that someone who hasn't exercised for years can come to a NIA class, and in that same class, someone who's an athlete can come, and depending on how much they want to put into their movement, they can really get a great conditioning.
So this is not something that we walk into a class and we have to feel like we're in competition with anyone. This is something that we actually can do it at our own level, in our own pace, and have our own free-flowing creative expression at times.
You're exactly right. And that's the other key to this, is our own expression. Each of us has such a unique expression that we bring through singing, through our work, through exercise, and through dance, through NIA. And that's what tends to come out. After a while, people stop following the instructor so much if they come to practice a lot, because they're then in their body and they can feel and receive all those gifts. And it's a true body, mind, and spirit experience.
You know, the Rebel Road is all about love, courage, commitment, and freedom. How do NIA help to support a person mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually in stepping into love, courage, commitment, and freedom?
As Gabrielle Roth says, God bless her soul, dance is the most direct path to the truth. And I can tell you, there were times when I was in a wheelchair, I had broken my foot, or there was a time through the condition I was in, I really couldn't move. And just by hearing the music and starting to flow in a chair, just little by little, tears came down. I cried because all that was inside me, the emotion from not being able to move, was able to be released. So that's what NIA does bring up, is we say the issues are in the tissues. Probably heard that experience. So as we work out and move those issues through, excuse me, we can experience the emotional release as well, which doesn't have to be huge or overwhelming. It's as much as we want to give that release at that moment.
You know, I think we live in such a fast-paced society, and so often we take on so much stress and tightness, and we get so used to it that we don't even realize how tight we are or how constricted we feel until we get to a place where we allow ourselves to be relaxed and more at ease and more in a flow. This type of practice, is it something that helps us to also de-stress our lives? Is it something that somehow changes us internally as we continue to do it? Especially if we're the type of people that don't want to do that hard inner work in the way that traditional searching is.
It's definitely a transformational type of practice. Just as they say with certain martial arts, going deeper and deeper and deeper, and as someone reaches their black belt, they say, go back to beginner's mind, and then start all over again from a different place. So yes, on a physical level, because we're moving the body's intrinsic muscles, we're moving areas in our body that we may not move in a regular exercise of jogging or weightlifting. That's very linear, and they're great. However, this is a beautiful complement because then we do a lot of circular movements, which get at those places you were saying. Sometimes we don't realize how stressed we are, and then we're able to release all those little muscles and tendons and ligaments and exercise them. So then we are flowing. If we watch a jaguar walk in the jungle, I liken that to a practice of NIA, where there's no stress. They're just walking, and then when they're ready to do their thing, they're there in full force, ready to call on all their muscles to move.
The other part that I really see present in NIA is the way that it builds community and collaboration. I think that that's the time that we're in right now, is really about centering more in on community. Talk about how the NIA community itself has been a support to you.
That's actually been the best part, I have to say. NIA New Jersey in particular is such a rich community of beautiful souls. I think we have about 60 some strong now. And at first it was only a few people who became teachers. And the idea of sharing this practice and being really happy for people as they progress in their lives and their world for each other. Yay, she has this gig, or somebody is doing a retreat, or they have all these classes. It's really heartfelt that we support each other and we have this practice connected, and we do things socially now. Of course, it really has built a beautiful community. And the New York community is close by also, and we like to interact with them as well. And there are NIA communities all over the world. So our richness of when we meet other people from different countries there's nothing like it for me.
Well, I thoroughly enjoy NIA, and it's why I got my own white belt. And I've had the pleasure of interviewing Debbie Rosas on 1111 Talk Radio. So that's been wonderful. And now I've gotten the pleasure of interviewing you. So thank you so much for being here. This is Teresa D'Angelo, and you can find out more about her at nianow.com/Teresa. And you can also look into her practices of polarity therapy, her NIA classes, other workshops, and things like that if you are anywhere in the area or want to get to her. If you are anywhere else in the country or the world and are interested in NIA, go to nianow.com and look it up, and you can find a class and instructors near you. In love, of love, with love, and as love. I'm Simran Singh on the Rebel Road, and we'll keep on going, meeting amazing brilliance every step of the way. Take care.
Hi, I'm Teresa D'Angelo. This is Christine Clifton and Kim Lane, and we're here to show you how NIA feels. So our focus for this dance is to heal our energy and heal your energy through watching or participating. Let's begin.
People want freedom in life. People want freedom in life. People want freedom in life. Shine with it. My sun is lost in my dreams. I'm off amidst the winds and the promises they stay. Walking in the street, nothing runs off in my veins. Become light, so I breathe softly when it rains. Crossing over faces of the moon seas, changing a whisper. Risen from the chambers in a wisdom, painted with the pigments of a vision. Dancing in the plumage of a luminary. I ruminate the way that this carries me towards myself. This fragrances and embraces for my shelter. Waves of vibrations for a relic saturated in wellness. Precious moments envelop me, so my language is angelic. Like a picture, spoken in scripture. Listen to the morning hope in the midst of enigmas. Ocean of rhythms, sweet erosion of beginnings. Openness is living. People want freedom in life. Come see God, we can live and breathe the life. It's gonna be the deeper for the dance home for the ride. Open up and let your light shine, shine. People want freedom in life. Come see God, we can live and breathe the life. It's gonna be the deeper for the dance home for the ride. Open up and to develop these heavenly realms of mine. Shine, shine, soul surfing the divine. Nurturing intuitions, we're learning to visualize the moment's gift is open like an infant's mind. An intended design, a wish up in the sky with some spies. Spread your wings, come let your spirit fly, fly, fly. Ascending inside, levitating the mind. States of a friend is sublime, face of the love you always knew. And present beside waves of benevolence rise. Faithful cleansing your eyes, you'll see that love was always you. Flow through, never able to erase it. Destiny is beckoning, so hold it, heal it to your breast and feel the blessings. The vibrancy of being vibrant reaches to let me be me. Free, a love shout to eternity. 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 I love me, shout to eternity. People want freedom and life. Come see God, we can live and breathe the life. It's gonna be the even for the adults, all for the rhyme. Let your love shine, shine. Freedom and life. Come see God, we can live and breathe the life. It's gonna be the even for the adults, all for the rhyme. Let your love shine. Let your light shine, let your dream shine, let your light shine, let your heart shine, let it all shine, 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 shine now, shine now. Let your love shine, let your light shine, let your dream shine, let your heart shine, let your heart shine.